I often find myself arriving a little late to things, so when Derail Valley came to my attention, it was no great surprise to find that it had already been out several years, and even the recent simulator update is more than a month old by this point. But still, you miss one train, you just catch the next one, and hope the one you've missed is not the Midnight 09 out of London Waterloo, because you'll be waiting a while by that point. And anyway, I would quite like to tell you how I find Derail Valley really rather charming. I have this problem with train simulators, which is often it feels like there's not that much to actually do. Yes, there might be some shunting around yards or things like that, but for a lot of the routes, all you're doing is throttling up a locomotive and keeping to some speed limits, maybe stopping at a station every once in a while. I find for me this is sort of something I call a hangover game. For when you're in that sort of state of mind where you maybe only need a new mental stimulus once every minute or so. But that's not a great game, and Derail Valley solves this by essentially condensing the environment and making the train worse. Now, while I could sit in front of this bookshelf and just tell you how it works, and let me tell you that is tempting, this is a very easy way to get a lot of boring footage very quickly, I think this would be best served by me actually playing the game. So, let us go and get the essential supplies for messing with trains. Namely, a thermos of tea. Just brew it in there like a psychopath. That'll do fine. There we go. Nobody's going to complain about that. And that most vital element for a day on the trains, an egg mayonnaise sandwich. You know, there's some channels which do these sort of simulation games. And I think they just show the game footage. You know, I think they just show the game and they just explain it to you, and that's kind of it. You know, they don't have all this nonsense. They seem to have more views than me. I really don't understand why. With the magic of editing, I am ready. It's time for a quick test cup. Make sure that the tea is good. As a small production note, I'm using this Coronation mayonnaise. If the trains don't work out, I shall let you know how that is. That's good tea. For something that was brewed in a thermos by a sociopath. So here I am in Derail Valley, and my first order of business is to go and get a locomotive. And this game does indeed require you to properly go and get a locomotive. And this sort of bad lad over here looks like a good one because it's kind of the only one. This approach, where you have to use whatever locomotives are just lying around, and at the smaller stations that can often be just one, encourages experimentation. It makes you use things you might not have considered before. Although it can be frustrating if the only locomotive around is one you haven't unlocked a license for, or, on the opposite side, you have just unlocked a license for a very exciting new thing, and you can't find it anywhere. And if you haven't thought to bring a locomotive with you, you not only have to use whatever's lying around, you have to start it. And this is kind of what I like about this game, as opposed to sort of some of the more sensible simulators, is a lot of it is not so much simulating the trains themselves as the kind of the world around trains and the operation of them. For example, this is now completely dead, so let's open a fuse box, flip some breakers and prod a switch. Sadly, this game reviewing from the Bad Influence Children's school of critical thought, where you review a game by just saying what's happening on the screen in front of you, continued for quite some time. Until I remembered what was sitting on the desk in front of me. In motion. I feel this calls. Getting the locomotive out without disaster calls for a celebratory cup of tea. That little bit of caffeine perked me up enough to remember that the game is built from the ground up for VR, and that maybe I should mention it. Now we kind of face our first problem, which is that I want to go over there where all of the fun stuff is, and these points are kind of in my way. So Derail Valley being a very physical game, I mean, this is one that you can even play in VR. I'm not playing it in VR because I can't be bothered to get the equipment out, I don't have the controllers, and most importantly, you don't want to watch a video presented by someone whose face is obscured by some kind of space hat, do you? So anyway, we could go over to the points and operate them manually, like this, but that might be a bit of a faff, and so Derail Valley has this nice system where, rather than necessarily giving you a menu and taking you out of the experience, you have a remote control. Oh yes. Now what I should have told you at this point in the review, had I not been concentrating my efforts on entirely undeserved tea, is that Derail Valley has a nice sort of career-type approach to the game, where you start out with access only to a single basic shunter and are only able to take very simple jobs, but you buy licenses which let you unlock more types of jobs, such as shunting or logistical hauls where you haul empty carriages, and of course access to new and more exciting types of locomotive with more power. But as you buy each of those licenses, the amount that you have to pay to run the locomotives goes up using Derail Valley's co-pay system, which starts you off with a very generous insurance policy where no matter what happens, even if you derail an entire consist of oil tankers and explode them rolling down a hillside, polluting a lake with oil, you will only ever pay $100. But as you unlock more of the game, that amount increases until you do really have to be considering how much fuel you're using and how much damage you're doing to the locomotive. Racing around with wheels slipping and throttles constantly in the red will rapidly empty your bank balance. All sorts of things can go wrong. While overloading traction motors might just flip a breaker the first few times, eventually they will break and you can end up with a completely dead locomotive. And that's before we get to the consequences of running out of water in a steam loco. One of these license categories allows you to take on multiple jobs at a time. And it was here that I set the seeds of my own destruction. I'm going to take a second job, because that maximises the amount I can earn. So I'm going to also take these crude oil cars, which are in B40. Now do these go to the same track at the other end? So they go to D4, this job goes to D4I. This job goes to G5I. Ah, that's going to be complicated. Shunting is one of the more pleasurable parts of Derail Valley. There's something really quite nice about rolling gently up to some wagons, applying the brake to stock in just the perfect place, and then attaching all the various hoses and bits that you need to make the brakes work. Unless, of course, you're me, and then you approach it in your own impatient and inimitable style. This is perfectly safe, this is fine. This is totally accurate railway practice, I'm sure. Ooh, don't run away. That was a bit harsh. Come on, back. Right, let's jump on top of that. Let's couple that up. Yes, that's fine. This is totally safe. This is absolutely, nothing has ever gone wrong on a railway from someone standing in the middle of two moving sets of wagons and trying to outrun them. Nothing has ever gone wrong from that happening. A few safety violations later, and I was on my way and ready to grapple with one of Derail Valley's main antagonists, hills. See, the map in Derail Valley is quite condensed. It's quite nice because you end up only having to make sort of short trips between stations, not sitting for an hour on full throttle, but part of that condensed map and the sort of general mountain environs, which I must say are quite pleasant to look at in that sort of truck simulator driving past a fjord manner, is that with this condensed map comes very frequent and very steep hills. Early on in the game, when you only have access to quite underpowered locomotives, this forces you to push them to their limit, and often beyond it in some cases. But for me, with my mid-game save, I had unlocked the more powerful D84 diesel hydraulic locomotive, and so my main problems were just managing the heat of the transmission fluid and fears of a slightly late lunch. That's getting a little bit toasty again. That's not too bad, it's cooled itself off. I feel like there's a lot of very slow climbing hills between here and my egg sandwich. It was at this point I realised this video had a problem. Still with a satisfyingly weighty amount of tea left in my thermos, I was showing exactly the kind of game that I was claiming Derail Valley wasn't, one where someone very boringly drove a train by moving a lever up and down, not helped by the fact that I had played the game enough to unlock one of the better trains, where the main fault is that it just costs a lot of money to run, rather than that it's rubbish and you need a good run-up to get up some hills. But as I played on, I started to realise what it is that makes Derail Valley so much fun for me. It's not that interface I was so keen to show off, despite playing in what the community calls flat mode. It's not even all the switches and breakers that you can flip, fun as those are. It's the emergent gameplay moments, where I do something stupid because I'm playing the game like an idiot, and then try to resolve it, while not losing the time bonus for completing my delivery early and not busting up the locomotive too much, because that costs money. Such a nice place, Derail Valley, isn't it? Just nice to drive trains around in. Okay, so this is coming up to the next switch. Oh, we want to go right. Where is it? There we go, I think I got it. And... no, we don't! That's gone horribly wrong! It's all gone horribly wrong. Stop! Stop, 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 stop. Actually, no, this will work. I'll tell you how this will work. Because I can reverse around the harbour. It'll be fine. No, it will be absolutely fine. I feel that I've accidentally solved a problem here. This sort of pressure between you're trying to do things fast, but you're trying to look after the train, and you're also getting things wrong because you don't really have that much time to click on the points before you're actually at them and you've gone the wrong direction, makes this really enjoyable in a way which a sort of slightly more serious, slightly more real-world sim isn't. Now, am I starting this on too big a hill? Really a fairly good loco for getting going. I don't like the lack of getting going. I want to be over there. I want to be over there with the stuff. Oh no, we're going. I can see through my little inspection hole. Yes. I didn't need any sand. Hooray! That's like $50 saved not using sand to get this going. That's very important. Forget about how much fuel I've used and how much oil I've toasted. Yeah, we're going over there, Don't know why I needed to do that in some sort of 70s disco cat voice. Yes. Hey man, it's so groovy, we're going over there in my disco train. Unfortunately, I was so pleased by my economical sand usage that I failed to notice the disco train was now heading in entirely the wrong direction. Anyway. So... Oh no, this has gone horribly wrong, because when I... But sometime later, and with much jimmy-nudgery relating to junctions and points, the disco train was now heading into the rather functionally named harbour. Indeed, Every locale in Derail Valley is functionally named, like steel mill or farm or oil well, and it's not really a surprise what they are. But still, things were going about as well as usual. Can't see. There's a cliff in the way of the things that I might want to change, and I might want to change them very soon. This was a terrible idea. Whose stupid idea was it to do this? Which idiot said that you could just go rolling into the... that's it, right. And I think that looked like it was going the wrong way. No, that's going the right way. That's fine. Let's slow this right down. This is why I find myself enjoying Derail Valley so much more than other train sims. While it may start off with just pulling a couple of levers and watching the scenery, when you get to this sort of mid-game point where the fees start racking up, the deadlines start reducing, it forces you to live on this kind of edge where you're always pushing, always trying to get maybe a too small locomotive with too big a load so that you pay as little as possible in fuel. The approaching speed limit signs going, how much faster than that can I go so that I have enough time to shunt my various loads into sidings at the end? You live in this world where things are constantly on the verge of going wrong, especially if you break out the celebratory tea a little too early. Yes, that's good. We're going to platform D, or track D. No real platforms there. Yes. I am the master of trains. You know what that calls for? Being unable to open my thermos. Calls. Oh, look at this. Lovely. Nice bit of tea steam. Celebratory tea. In the midst of a cloud of steam. It's probably going to mess up the background removal and make this completely unusable. That's fine. This is all completely unusable anyway, because I really hashed up this gameplay session. Why is that showing as right? I don't feel confident about this anymore. In a sensible, proper sim about doing real trains sensibly and properly, the points would already have been set for my freight movement, because that's how railways work, or if they weren't, I would wait realistically at a red signal for several minutes for them to be set. Even if I had to do it myself, I would probably do it through some convenient menu which matches what a signal operator might see in their special hut. But Derail Valley doesn't do this. Derail Valley is still proud to be a game. One in which I seem to have gained a surprisingly cavalier attitude to yard safety and correct train operation. Right, that's fine. Let's let that roll past. That's going quite fast. I'm not sure I can catch that back up. Okay, that's fine. This is perfectly safe. Right, that is set correctly. Fine, I teleport back to my train, don't stand in front of it. That feels like it would be bad. And now we can do what I originally wanted to do, which is to go and put this... Oh, that's the wrong brake. There we go, use the proper brakes, that will slow it down. Stop! Stop! Runaway train! Right, let's open it up, no wheel slip or any shenanigans, and we should be able to get that back into its place. Where it's supposed to go. Stupid train. Now there is some pleasure in things going wrong, and in Derail Valley they can go very wrong indeed. But part of that is also that if things can go wrong, and if you always feel like you're on the edge of things going wrong, there's also a tremendous satisfaction when they finally go right. No, tea is called for at this point. You indeed deserve tea. Look, the locomotive, it's going to the correct place. And the wagons with it, by nature of them being attached. It's how trains work. I'm an expert now. I've driven this for a while. I sort of wonder that I've built this up a little too much, and this is almost going to feel like an anticlimax. I think that's D4. I can't see. I need to go and look. Yes! Yes, it is. Pop the brakes on. Let's go and find which ones I'm supposed to be unloading. So, this was 583 as the first one on there. There we go, look at that. So 583, 44 whatever, that's not, yes. So brakes on that. And there we go. Actually, I could just drive away because those will just detach at this point. But no, let's be sensible. Let's be good at trains. A responsible train person. Adding to the pressure beyond just looking after your locomotive and getting it up some of the steeper hills is that jobs come with a significant bonus for delivering items within the time limit, and with fees in the mid-game and onwards eating up a significant portion of the base payment, you really do want to deliver those things early. The game does let you buy a stopwatch, or of course you could just time things in the real world to find out whether you're on time or not, but I kind of like not knowing and therefore existing in a state of constant mild panic about whether I'm going to be on time or not. Yes, more power. I don't have much time. I should have bought the stopwatch, then I would know if I had enough time or not. Where's the station hut? I think it's somewhere around here, possibly. There's also a shop. Go to the shop. No, we need to get this back. More speed. Yes, that's working. It's working fine. I hope those points are set correctly. I really hope those points are set correctly, because otherwise this is going to end catastrophically, and end catastrophically very quickly. So, toasting up the transmission fluid again. Okay. Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? Once you've done things the hard way a few times, Derail Valley does let you make your life a little easier, such as unlocking a license where you can couple multiple locomotives together with a wire, and the controls will be synchronized between them. And you don't have to go hopping between cabs trying to set the controls in each to get a train moving up a steep hill, as I may have done a few times early in the game when all I had access to was the DE2, and I had maybe got a bit ambitious with how steep a hill I could go up. As well as the licenses, the game has shops from which you can buy items, such as a remote control which lets you stand outside the locomotive and operate it, making shunting quite a bit easier. However, I feel that I've developed my own style towards this, one that is highly realistic and very safe. Are we going into the right? Yes! 5i! Genius! I am the best at trains. Right. Okay, the brakes are on. That's fine. Stop. If I can reach that, I can turn it on. Yes! More braking. That's good. Right, I just need to decouple this and put the brakes on that as well. That will really annoy the next person to use it, which might be me. Brake that into this. In. I need to turn it off. And then I need to rapidly find the station hut. And yes, this is perhaps another slight frustration in Derail Valley, which is when you arrive at a station you're not so familiar with, finding the station hut. Now there is a green light on top of it, which is supposed to make it a bit easier to find, but that can often be obscured by buildings or just the general fact that you may be looking in the wrong direction. Which does make, after you've uncoupled your cars, the last part of a Derail Valley job being running blindly toward the station hut like the end of a Top Gear challenge. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's somewhere over there. The green light of me finally getting paid Right, let's go validate these orders. And of course, in terms of this increasingly unhinged tea-based review, I'm sure you want to know, did I make it in time? Hurrah! Ooh! 43 minutes. We were quick enough. And this is really satisfying. Lots of money. So excited I can't even get it in my wallet. Now, that's not too bad. That's really not too bad. We did damage the wheels up a bit, but that's not too bad. But I need to not take it, pay it here, because I should take it to the actual service place, which is somewhere. And this is one last pleasant thing the game has in store. I delayed getting the manual service license because I thought it was just going to be a faff. It was going to be a pain compared to just going to the terminal and paying the fees, but there's something really rather pleasant about this, that after all the time pressure of the job, after the difficulty of getting a heavy train up hills, you just have to take a single locomotive to the shed and repair it. It's all really rather pleasurable. You know, you're not up against the clock. All you have to do is just fill your train with essential fluids, correct any wheel damage from over-enthusiastic use of the throttle, and find, pleasingly, that you did indeed use precisely 0 sand. Hurrah! We didn't use any sand. Pleasing. Oil. Body, we didn't damage anything. We didn't damage too much, so there we go. That's not horrific, given we made quite a lot more money than that. But yes, this is the hurrah! Success! That's kind of what I like about Derail Valley, is it starts off a bit slow sometimes, but there's always lots of emergent fun going on. And also, I have a sandwich to enjoy. That's a pretty good mayonnaise. I can't believe that you're just recording yourself eating a sandwich. That's how far you've fallen.